Yes.
Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signal. We'll be clipping this portion of the show. If you missed the full live stream, man, you missed out on a doozy. We're going to debate. We've been and will continue debating, maybe even taking calls about, is this Jada's fault? So if you want to see the full replays, if you missed it live, you can always become a member here on Popcorn Planet. Support the stream. Pick a level. Pick one. If you can't do that, at least hit that subscribe for me. We're so close to 250,000 subscribers. Can we cross it now live? We'll find out.
Subscribe.
But I'm here with Vito and Kim, and a comment from ZZ Closer. Thank you so much for supporting. Are y'all hoping that Chris Rock responds with savage stand-up about Will and Jada? I am. I am, and it looks like he is. Guys, so here's the update. Chris Rock is in Boston. He landed. Here he is, photos of him on the ground. He is going to be doing a sold-out show in Boston tonight to kick off his Ego Death Tour. There's not an empty seat in the house. Scalpers are charging through the roof on these costs. But beyond that, beyond the fact that, I'm sorry, assumption leaves me to think, of course he's going to respond to it tonight. Why wouldn't he? Can't go do a show to a standout crowd and not address this issue. Perfect place to address said issue because it's on his turf. It's his show. It's gonna, he gets to. I hope he films it properly at least. Maybe they're gonna take away phones like they do at Chappelle's show. Unclear. But we can expect some sort of reply to get to us tonight. And the other thing that we can know is that Chris Rock's brother, Tony, has been very vocal last night on Instagram, calling out Will Smith and seemingly speaking on behalf of the family that they are not okay with this. Do you approve of the apology? No. So for those that don't know, Tony Rock is a comedian, and he went crazy last night. Not crazy, but he got vocal on Twitter last night to respond. Be sure to watch Good Hair, since the narrative has now changed to all my bro does is disrespect women of color. He's getting frustrated because he's seeing out there how it's all being played. And it's interesting seeing his brother, who he is seemingly close to still, respond to these questions. And so have you worked with the Smiths for some years? And Will has never done something like this in decades. In decades of him being public, if he speaks directly to Chris and the Rock family, are you open? He said last night, waiting, implying that Will hasn't reached out to them.
Will's not going to reach out. I think Will's going to be a coward.
Will hasn't reached out to them, and now Chris has been waiting, and clearly his brother's speaking like, dude, we're still waiting to hear from him. I've been waiting on your response. It's coming. So we are in the preface. It's clearly it's about to happen. Should the Oscar be taken back? Should Chris get it for his remarkable composure? Not my call.
I think Chris Rock should get a special Oscar.
He should. He definitely. Replace your brother Jerry Seinfeld on that stage. Would the narrative still be the same, or would Will Smith be locked up in the LAPD? He goes, clearly implying yes, he would. So there was a bunch of these comments all really breaking down as he's responding. A bunch of weird comments too, but
Tony Rock stepping up.
Tony Rock defending
saying what his brother is not able to say just yet.
So did Diddy. So Diddy was lying when he said Chris and Will made up that night and are good now. Yep. So they're not good now, is how I take for this.
I don't think they made up. I mean, I could imagine Chris Rock just wanting to get out of there and being like, yeah, it's cool, man, but I don't know. I don't think he should be cool with it.
He shouldn't be cool with it, and I'm so impressed more and more each day with Chris Rock and his patience and taking it in. And I hope, God, can you? I tweeted this last night. Can you imagine being a fly on the wall to the phone calls or meetings he had with Chappelle, with Eddie Murphy, with Jerry Seinfeld, like? I can't imagine all of those comedians aren't livid because, as we've seen from a lot of responses, Jeffrey Ross said it the most eloquently, who has alopecia, mind you, as well. You can't. Now they're all scared. These comedians have already been scared based on the words canceling them, right? But now Will Smith has just enabled and allowed.
Now you can just go to the biggest stage in the world and
words
beat the
offend
crap
you?
out of them.
Go scoop on stage and smack them. Is literally what just happened. So to see who do you think hits harder, Will or Jada's boyfriend? He responded, Mama Rock. As in Chris Rock's mom. But yikes, Jada's boyfriend.
Good comeback.
Jesus. So will you be on our podcast? Pass. So he's hitting back, and so it's hard. Do you approve the apology? No.
No.
And so there was a couple other ones like, will he respond? And he said soon. but it's clear here that he's not, he wants to get in on this. They're all dying, chomping at the bit to talk, but he's obviously letting his brother break the news. And that was staged, blah, blah, blah. If it was real, it was definitely found on cover. Staged for what? Like, he's even like, why would it have been staged? These idiots out there who are still like, Hollywood staged it. You guys, I'm sorry, you look really dim because it doesn't make any sense why they would have done that. So many
conspiracy theorists these days.
It's real. You're really embarrassing yourselves. But anyway, so we get this vibe. We now know that he's performing tonight. I can only assume, I assume you guys are going to assume there with me, he's going to mention it tonight. Now, how this is released, what he says, how much he goes into it, I don't know. But I want to open up to the comments, and my panelists here, Vito, Kim, what should he do? I mean, in my opinion, to go back to ZZ Closer, thank you for the comment, and I'll get to the rest of your comments in a few. Yeah, I'm hoping he does Unleash tonight. I hope he does, and I hope he makes it as like the opener to all of his stand-up shows moving forward for the rest of the year. Like, it's time for another Jada bash. Like, at this point,
if I was him at every show, I'd have one guy who looks like Will Smith just try to rush the stage. He goes, "Oh God, it's happening again!" Oh, I hope he does the rest of his Oscar set though. Because after the G.I. Jane joke, it seemed like he had a couple more jokes, and now we don't even know what they were. Will Smith denied us some great comedy that night.
Yeah, I mean, there was that moment you could tell where he was really holding back. Like, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Everyone's already written the joke of like, have you kept August out of your wife's mouth?
Okay.
It's like,
well, that's horrible.
You could just tell, I know. You could sense it. I mean, you're a comedian. You are, Vito. But
The Rock was like, I mean, I could go somewhere with this, but I think he knew, like, hey, man, the Oscars told me to just come out and say a couple jokes and get on with the show. I can't turn it into the Will and Chris fight hour. As much as we would have liked to see it.
Welcome, as Steph is here as well. Steph,
Chris Rock handled it as a pro.
Yeah, he did handle it as a pro.
Hello.
Peter. Been a bit of a while. How you doing, mate?
It has been a while. I'm all right.
So happy to have Steph join the conversation as we are clipping our main event here, and so happy to have you chime in as we do this. But yeah, basically, long story short, looks like Chris is going to respond tonight at his show. I don't see how he can avoid it. And his brother's pissed. His brother's seemingly speaking for him. Well, Kim, I'll go to you while you think about it, Steph, because you were up next, Kim. Kim, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to sort of unleash tonight?
Definitely want him to acknowledge it. I hope that he continues to take the high road, because I think the more classy he plays this, even with a little bit of sass, a little bit of comedy, it's just going to make him look better and better. It's just going to make him look more of a professional, more of a better person, kind of doing the whole you go low, we go high, but I'm also going to make you laugh while I'm up there. I think that would be incredible. But ultimately, I'm interested to hear his perspective. I hope he actually gives his side of the story, so that we can all kind of get an idea of where he's at, because he's been so quiet. That's more what I'm curious about.
Oh, I think we're all. I have bated breath waiting to hear his thought. Mm-hmm. And Mojo, thank you for the support. Do you think they should take the Oscar away? I personally don't. I don't. I think it opens up a whole barrel of how many
you're going to take all the Oscars away once you take that one away.
There's 81 of them I can think of that should be stripped if you're going to do that.
Exactly. So I mean, look. At this point, remove him from the Academy. The rumors I've heard is they're going to remove him from the Academy for a year, and he's got a big Oscar movie coming next year called Emancipation, about that photo with the guy with the marks on his back. The rumor is they're not going to let him be nominated or be in the Academy for at least a year, is what I'm hearing, is what they're sort of putting around. We'll see. Steph, what do you want to see tonight? I know you're on team Chris as well. Are you hoping he just unleashes tonight?
Mentioned this in previous streams on this one. I suspect and I hope he is going to mention it, but it's going to be on his terms, which will be through comedy. He's just going to roast the hell out of it, joke about it, and use it as material, basically, and do it that way. Not actually like provide a formal statement or anything like that, but use his comedy as a vessel to communicate with the audience and the wider world, his opinion, his feelings, all that lot. So it will be very interesting when I wake up tomorrow morning what we find out what Chris Rock has said. But yeah, I think he'll do it like in joke comedy format. and
I
roast
mean,
the hell
look,
out of it.
I got it. Steve, I've been sharing some of your comments. Thank you guys. But Steve just says it right here. Like, I mean, I'd be mad too if the last time my wife had hair, it was when my teenage son a friend was pulling it.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
like,
oh Lord.
Oh wow.
Chris Rock could just completely bury him with this stuff.
I mean, he could. Yeah, this could
and to be fair,
if
like-
Chris Rock
Could
goes
go
full
in.
on.
I want to
could
reiterate,
destroy
right?
Will.
Like, this is none of my friggin' business. But Jada put it out. Jada has made this our public knowledge. Jada has made this the content. And at that point, I'm not sure what I mean, like, dude,
Yeah.
this is none of our business. Red table talk, and I've said it earlier, we're going to talk about it later in the show. Red table talk is the problem. You have a global icon as your husband. He is the breadwinner, Jada. I'm sorry. Will is the breadwinner of that family. Now, you're doing great. You are a boss. Don't get me wrong. But you are no Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith. Okay? And you know it. Nobody is. Will's on a level above so many. And you got to
Will is
protect
Will.
that brand. You got to protect that brand. That's all Will's done his whole career is want to be Will Smith. Big wiggy, big jiggy, you know, whatever. What is it? Big Willie
Big
style.
Jiggy, as we said. Good old Big Jiggy.
Big jiggy with it.
I love.
You can't.
Big
This is
Jiggy
not
Will.
keep it
All right.
jiggy with. You know,
Getting
this is
mixed up with
this is
Big
not
Willie
jiggy.
style and getting jiggy
Yeah.
with it. Oh my goodness.
Big Jiggy
This
style,
is not
as
Big
we
Wiggy.
say.
Willie's Wiggy. I did it again. This is not
Did we
Big
just
Willie
find
style.
Andy's rap name?
I think we just did. I think we just did.
Andy
It's
Big Jiggy Signore is
Big
here,
jig,
everyone.
jiggy nor. Look, this is not getting jiggy with it. This is the opposite, and this really did say it. When we looked at, we were watching the OJ video. There was a comment on Twitter was like, "Look at this. Remember this Moj? There was a point we respected him too. Pay attention, Will. Like it's true. One action can really."
Wait, OJ
Let it
did
all-
something?
OJ
Oh,
comment.
now two of my favorites have been. God!
OJ was the voice
know.
of reason, Vito. That's the world we're living in right now.
Oh, no. You know what I want to say? All the celebrity accolade and all the opportunities afforded to Will Smith, take them away and give them to Chris Rock in his stead. Let's give Chris Rock a TV show and a big YouTube channel, and he deserves the accolade. This is a man who does his job. He's a professional entertainer, and he doesn't ruin the biggest night in Hollywood by turning into a raging psychopath. And I hope that this Chris Rock tour, this is going to be huge for him, and I hope he rides it all the way to the top.
Jada said, "Knock him out." Yeah, that's look. I want to get your thoughts, and I want to have that debate. Matt, I'm just getting some of your thoughts. I make fun of my disabilities daily. I'm on the floor more than a toddler. Should Will defend his wife? Yes, but never violence. Well said, Matt. We all got it. We are too sensitive as a culture right now. It has gotten ridiculous, and we got to toughen up our kids, like because there are bullies and there are people that you got to stand up against. But my God. Words, what is it? You know, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Where did that? Why can we instill that in a class in school now? I'm getting worried for us as a society. We're all just getting destroyed by words. Like we got to learn to just like dirt off our shoulder. It. You know what I mean, Vito?
Well, now we have a certain group of people who say you don't understand. Words are a form of violence, and you go, oh no, if we go down this road, there's so many problems with that statement. We have yes, words can hurt your feelings. They can cause emotional harm. But let's be clear, physical attacks can damage you, break your bones, can potentially kill you. I mean, who knows? If Will had hit Chris the wrong way, maybe he falls backwards, hits his head.
Oh,
maybe
don't go there.
You don't know.
Oh my
That's why you
God.
don't take the chance.
No, I'm not letting you go there. Oh my God!
No.
If he had
Will
slapped Betty
Smith
White
could've
as
killed
Ghost,
him.
she
He
might have
could've
not
killed him.
gone to heaven and would have gone to hell. And oh my God, with these.
What if his
Some-
hand slips
Jesus.
in the eye? It goes. He pokes out his eyeball, Andy.
Oh my God!
The
What
point
if?
is, you never know.
Okay,
No.
In all fairness, though, I think there's a balance, right? Because words can be very damaging. Words spark movements.
Right,
Yeah.
and
So
not to
we
interrupt, but
can't
I
underestimate
have it on
it.
screen. And to your point, Kim, Katie Mogren said, Will saying, keep my wife's name in your mouth, literally put her name in everyone's mouth. So that, to get
Yeah.
to your point, like, it's on screen, so I want to make sure you knew. Exactly. Didn't
Yeah.
she make this worse, Kim? Like, he made it
Oh,
way
absolutely.
worse.
Absolutely, but it's also at the same time. I think of the I think it's Eleanor Roosevelt's quote of saying, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." You
Yes.
have to choose at some point that it's like, okay, that's your opinion. I'm going to choose to live my life. I mean, I see people in the comments saying that I'm a snowflake all the time. I'm not a snowflake. I try to be a nice person.
I'm a
I try to give
snowflake.
people the benefit
Oh,
of the
you
doubt.
snowflake, Kim. How
And
dare you.
I
I'm a
don't think there's
beautiful
anything wrong
snowflake.
with that, because I try to think about what would happen. Like, I think, for example, like I am a Britney stan. I think about how people treated her in 2007 and the things that people regret saying now because they didn't understand the whole picture. I try to be conscious of that. But, I mean, I have to be like, those people don't matter. There we go. I'm good with that
Good
because
for
I'm
you.
comfortable with myself and my opinions. And you have to be able to take that, especially when you are in the public eye and people are stating their opinion and people are making jokes and everything else. There's a balance.
Thing is, though, right? Everyone's talking about, you know, there's a balance, this, that, and the other. But this kind of risque comedy has been going on for years
Oh,
anyway.
yes.
You've got.
Yes.
Let's keep it 100 here. You've got legendary black comedians like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, that back in the day, compared to that Chris Rock joke about Jada, was even, if you're going to call it that, even worse. You know, much more cutting, much more biting, much more risque. But they're celebrated quite rightly as amazing, legendary, epic comedians, right? So all of a sudden there has to be a balance. Why? When those comedians that have said far worse are still celebrated and considered iconic to this day. It's like it's a pick and choose, pick and mix kind of situation. Oh, they're okay because we give them a pass, but Chris Rock ain't okay because he offended Will Smith. What? No. As far as I'm concerned, this whole balance situation with words, this, that, and the other, it has to go. Because then what you're doing is you're limiting freedom of speech and freedom of expression. And that is a very, very big slippery slope, especially when you're talking about comedy. You should not have any limitations when it comes to comedy, in my mind, because everything is open for ridicule. There shouldn't be any censorship for that whatsoever. Otherwise, then we're going down a road that's going to be extremely dark, in my opinion. Now, does that mean freedom from consequences? No.
Yep.
It's not like you can say what you want and there's not going to be any consequences. I understand that. But you
Which
can't
is what
turn
I was
around and
arguing.
say-
Yeah.
You can't turn around and say, like with the Jada Pinkett Smith situation, well, hang on a minute, you can't make fun of her alopecia, this, that, and the other because it's offensive to her. Well, hang on a minute. No. Yeah, we can. You're a public figure. You put that into the public sphere. Therefore, it's within the public knowledge. Therefore, open to support and going on the other end in terms of balance. If you're going to go that way, ridicule. It is what it is.
Well, and Steph, just because you came in late, we're going to unplay this and we're going to clip this and we're going to get into the Jada debate, but I have to turn this up so you guys be quiet for a second because she's very soft. Listen to Jada talk about her baldness. Hold on. I hate this. Got to click the audio on.
Definite hair regrets, for sure. Specifically on covers where it's just like, what the hell? Being a black woman and dealing with hair in Hollywood, especially in the era that I came up in, having your hair look as European as possible was always the thing. And that was really challenging, you know, because I liked my hair out wild and curly, but nobody wanted that. So I always had to do my hair in ways that didn't feel natural to me because I'm trying to play the game. So if I'm doing a cover, everybody, no, we want your hair straight and flowy. And it's like, all right, cool, but that's not really like what my hair likes to do. So I had to learn to get the courage to just go, nah, I'm not doing that. Which is why I feel the freedom today. I don't give two craps what people feel about this bald head of mine, because guess what? I love it. I've had
I'm just confused because it's like I appreciate the first half of her story, but she literally, this was 7 days ago, guys, on her Instagram. I don't care what people say about my bald head. I love it.
But if
You
anyone says
liar!
anything
You
about my
liar!
bald head,
You,
To be clear,
you
my husband has to
liar.
kill them.
before people in the chat come for us, because we talked about this before we started this segment, what she said about the pressure on Black women to look like they have more Western type hair. That is absolutely true. We are not we're not debating that whatsoever. It's more just the hypocrisy
of her admitting.
Yeah.
And look, is it tough for her? I'm sure. But I'm sure it's tough for Vito. You losing your hair, Vito.
Okay,
it's
but like
tough for everybody losing their hair.
When I listen to a rich Hollywood lady who's got millions of dollars living on the top of the mountain, she goes, I had a lot of problems with my hair and now I'm bald. Oh, boo fucking who? Like, come on, what? And then you sick your husband on a lovable entertainer. You go, I gotta kill Chris Rock because he made fun of me. Go cry into your millions of dollars. Your life is fine. There's nothing wrong in your life. At one point, when somebody made a good point where Will Smith goes, I'm not a finished man. Dude, how old? He's like 50 years old. You literally just won Best Actor. Yes, you should be a completed person at this point. The idea that you, as an old man, are still growing in any way is frankly embarrassing. Figure your life. My life is more figured out than Will Smith's life because I know not to hit people if they call me bald. Like, I figured that out. All right? If they call my girlfriend bald, I'll go, hey, buddy, that's not okay. But other than that, what is happening? What is going? You have so much money. I don't understand ever pretending to the adversity that you face as a bald woman. Just again, go buy hair from orphan children and make a wig, any kind of wig you want. All right, your life is fine.
Well, look. I will say, money doesn't buy happiness. Okay,
No.
That's true.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It makes life easier.
Help.
It makes life easier. But it also makes life more complicated, Vito. Let's be fair. I can't say her life's perfect, but yeah, I think if she actually had to be a single,
better than mine.
but
in so many ways.
to support you, if you're comparing her to the single mom who's working 3 jobs and can't even see her own kids, who then gets alopecia and can't even afford the insurance to do anything about it, well then yeah, right, she's no leg to stand on. Like, boo-hoo, Jada, nice try. You got a lot. You're way more privileged than most, and you clearly are okay with it per your own words. That's what frustrates me the most. But look, I'm with you, Vito. I think you said is correct. I want to get into this Jada debate. We got so much to talk about with this Jada debate that I'm gonna get in this Jada debate. But I want to because we got so many guys, I want to start reading your comments. We may even take some of your calls. I want to clip this portion for the Chris Rock update since there was a lot. As Lewis joins as well, make sure to support my friends. It's Kim, Vito, Steph the Alter Nerd, and Lewis Leck over at Nerd Report. And if you haven't already, subscribe to us all. Helps us out. We do this every day. We hang out, talk pop culture, justice, celebrity news, shade, whatever out there. We keep it real. We're not afraid. We keep it fair. Not out here trying to talk about people's relationships unless they're on a red table talk, putting it out there for us to judge. Keep it to yourself, Jada. My God, the poor guy's been through enough. But we're going to talk a lot more. If you want to see the unedited replay, which all these live viewers are about to see, make sure you become a member. Join. Not only will you see all these replays, but you'll be supporting the channel. So I appreciate you guys. As I don't even need to put an end card. It's just going to eventually end, and you're going to miss out the show because you're not a member? What's up, guys? What's up with that?